Picture this. It's 2022. Saudi Arabia just beat Argentina. It goes down as one of the greatest upsets in World Cup history. The whole world is absolutely stunned. But one man was quietly smiling, not because he loved Saudi Arabia and not because he hated Argentina. He was smiling because of a very simple equation. The more shocking the moment, the more people watched. And the more people watched, the more money FIFA made. My name is Sudhanshu Patel, and in today's Explainer, we're going to talk about the biggest sporting event in human history, the FIFA World Cup 2026. It's happening right now across America, Canada, and Mexico. But we're not just talking about the games today, we're talking about the money. We're going to figure out who's really winning this tournament, and trust me, it's not the team lifting the trophy.
So, why the big smiles up in those executive suites? Well, while billions of fans are completely glued to their screens for the pure love of the beautiful game, the intense drama, and those massive upsets, we're going to look at an entirely different game, the one being played way off the pitch. We are diving into the incredibly massive billion-dollar business of the 2026 World Cup. Because while the players are sweating it out on the field, we really need to ask, who is truly cashing in on all this? And spoiler alert, it's not necessarily the team holding up that golden trophy at the end.
Let's start with what makes 2026 completely different from every single World Cup before it. For the first time ever, 48 teams are competing. That is up from 32. The tournament runs from June 11th to July 19th across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 3 countries, one massive tournament, 16 stadiums across 16 cities, most of which already host NFL, MLS, and Liga MX games. But here's the very first thing Americans really need to understand. The US is not just a host. The US is the host. America is hosting 78 games. That's 3 times more than Canada and Mexico combined. Every single high-stakes match, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the final, all of it is happening right on American soil. So America is doing the heavy lifting here. But is America actually benefiting, or is someone else cashing in while we do all the work?
To answer that, we have to talk about what FIFA actually is. Because honestly, most Americans have no idea. FIFA stands for the Federation International de Football Association. They're the governing body of soccer worldwide. 211 member nations with their shiny offices over in Zurich, Switzerland. And here is the absolute kicker that catches so many people off guard. Legally, FIFA is registered as a non-profit organization. Non-profit. 0 corporate tax. But please do not let that word fool you for even 1 second when it comes to the reality of their bank accounts.
$13 billion. That is FIFA's projected total revenue for the 4-year cycle from 2023 to 2026. This is potentially going to be the most profitable sporting event in human history. $13 billion, all from a registered nonprofit. It's an absolutely wild, almost paradoxical setup when you really think about it. So how exactly does a nonprofit generate $13 billion? Well, it comes down to 4 main revenue streams. Let's break down exactly where all this cash is flowing from. First up, and this is the biggest one, TV rights. Revenue from television broadcasting rights alone is budgeted at a jaw-dropping $4.26 billion for this cycle. Every single broadcaster in every country on Earth, whether it's NBC, Fox Sports, or Telemundo right here in America, pays FIFA absolute fortunes just for the right to beam these games onto your screen. You might sit on your couch and watch the game for free, but your cable provider, your streaming service, they paid FIFA. And Economics 101 tells us that those massive costs, they eventually trickle right back down to you, the consumer. Revenue stream number 2, global sponsorships. When you have the eyes of the entire world, every major corporation wants a piece of the action. For 2026, FIFA has locked in some massive global partners. We're talking the Saudi state oil company Aramco, Chinese tech giant Lenovo, alongside huge American heavyweights like Verizon, Bank of America, and Lee's. Every single logo you see on that perfectly manicured field, every digital banner, every commercial break tie-in, FIFA charged a huge premium for all of it. Coming in at number 3, we've got tickets and hospitality, budgeted at a record-breaking $3.09 billion. And for 2026, FIFA is trying something new and highly controversial. For the first time in World Cup history, they're using a dynamic pricing ticketing system. Think about when you try to buy concert tickets or book an airline seat for a holiday. As demand goes up, the price skyrockets. Fans are already expressing massive frustration over this. But from a purely business standpoint, FIFA doesn't mind at all. It ensures they extract the absolute maximum value from every single seat. And finally, the 4th pillar of their empire? Licensing. It's the business of the official everything. If a company wants to sell the official World Cup watch, the official World Cup champagne, the official video game, or even just a t-shirt with the logo on it, they have to pay FIFA for that privilege. It's a continuous global merchandising machine that just prints money long before the first whistle is even blown. When you add all those streams together, the TV rights, the sponsorships, the dynamic tickets, the licensing, FIFA estimates it will earn a breathtaking $8.9 billion from this 2026 tournament alone. Almost $9 billion directly tied to the games happening in the US, Canada, and Mexico.
But here's where it gets really interesting for Americans. 0. That is the exact number of stadiums FIFA actually built for this tournament, not a single one. America already had world-class infrastructure. We had MetLife Stadium in New Jersey for the Giants and Jets. We had AT&T Stadium in Dallas for the Cowboys. We have SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, which is an absolute architectural marvel worth over $5 billion. FIFA simply walks in, says, great, we'll use these, and begins collecting their $8.9 billion in revenue.
But it actually goes even deeper than that. How does FIFA operate once they're in these cities? To host these games, every city had to sign what's known as a host city contract. And buried deep inside that massive document is a clause forcing cities to create a complete tax-free zone for FIFA operations during the tournament. Hotels, restaurants, stadiums, any revenue connected to FIFA's operations gets shielded. No local taxes, no city taxes, no state taxes. New York City actually pushed back hard on this. They almost walked away entirely. But eventually, looking at the global attention and tourism dollars, they folded and signed. Because when FIFA says jump, cities basically ask how high. That's the power FIFA holds. So what does America actually get out of this? Now, politicians absolutely love to quote huge headline numbers. You'll hear a World Trade Organization analysis thrown around, estimating the World Cup will produce $80.1 billion in gross output, including $30.5 billion in the US alone. Sounds amazing, right? But here's what the financial analysts are actually saying. S&P Global said just last week that for the United States, this World Cup is primarily a major cultural event rather than an opportunity capable of fundamentally reshaping the nation's economic landscape. Because the tournament is spread out across 16 different cities, those short-term economic gains are heavily diluted. Sure, Uber drivers and local restaurants will have a fantastic month, absolutely. But the idea of a massive, systemic economic transformation, it's largely overstated.
And history gives us a very clear warning about the financial hangover of hosting. Take a look at Brazil in 2014. They built brand new, state-of-the-art stadiums in cities without professional soccer teams. A year later, those multi-million-dollar arenas were literally being used as parking lots for buses. Or look at South Africa in 2010. Their spectacular Cape Town stadium cost $600 million to build, and today, it costs the city more to maintain than it actually earns. The cities often lose out big time, while FIFA just walks away with billions.
But this brings us to the unique American advantage in 2026. We are incredibly well protected from the stadium debt trap. Why? Because the NFL, MLS, and massive concert tours will simply keep rolling once the World Cup packs up and leaves. Our stadiums already exist, and more importantly, they are already highly profitable machines. We aren't building empty monuments in the desert. For us, the World Cup is essentially just a massive bonus on top of our already functioning sports infrastructure.
So if the economic windfall isn't quite what politicians promise, what is the true benefit for America? The honest answer is cultural. Let's look back. The last time the US hosted the World Cup was 1994. That single event lit a massive spark. It directly led to the founding of Major League Soccer in 1996, it revolutionized youth soccer across the nation, and it built the very foundation of American soccer culture today. 2026 is primed to be that 1994 spark multiplied by 10. US audiences are tuning in like never before, driving broadcast revenues up 37% from 2022. It is a genuine cultural explosion.
And we can't forget the action on the pitch, because the financial stakes for the actual teams are just as historic. The total prize money pool for 2026 stands at a record $871 million. Every team that qualifies earns millions, and the ultimate winner is going to walk away with $53.5 million. Just imagine the pressure, the sheer intensity for the US men's national team. They are playing for massive stakes, right on home soil, in front of a country that is finally fully paying attention to the beautiful game.
At the very top of this incredible pyramid sits FIFA President Gianni Infantino. He recently confirmed his intention to run for re-election, and guess what? He is doing so completely unopposed. He already has the support of multiple confederations. Why? Because his system reliably funds the exact people who vote for him. Those 211 member nations across the globe rely heavily on FIFA for their funding. He turned a non-profit into a $13 billion machine. Absolutely no one is going to challenge the man who keeps those checks clearing. As we bring all of this together, we clearly see the ultimate thesis of the World Cup business model. On one side, you have the host cities bearing all the logistical burdens, granting massive tax exemptions, and footing the bill for security and infrastructure. On the other side, you've got FIFA. They bring the world's most valuable sports brand, they build nothing, they own nothing in America, yet they walk away with billions in untaxed guaranteed revenue. It is honestly an absolute masterclass in global business.
Host cities will definitely get their month in the global spotlight, and America gets to prove once and for all that it is a central pillar of global soccer. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought for today's explainer. When the final whistle blows at MetLife Stadium in July 2026 and that confetti rains down, who do you think actually wins the World Cup? Is it the team on the pitch or the executives in Zurich? Let me know your predictions for the tournament down below. Thank you so much for exploring this with me, and always keep questioning how the game is really played.